Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models again. I was going to be starting a different project, but I had this delivery, so I thought I'd get this open and see if there's any interest in what's inside. Amazon, as ever, packing things in boxes that are quite big. So let's have a look. Right, it's in another box inside there, so let me stop that and get that out of the way and just go to the smaller box. Alright, hello again, I'm Chris, this is still Gross Models, and this is my new delivery. So let's get this box open and see what's inside there. Don't think I cut deep enough across the top there, but I don't want to damage what's inside, so. Right. Let's see, can you still see that? Yes. What we have here is a box of bits, completely different type of kit that I'm going to have to put together. Yeah, well, it's all quite nicely laser cut and everything. Right, let me get a few bits out and then show you what we got. Right, I've had a little rummage and I don't know that anyone's going to know what it is without knowing what it is, but there we go. There's the first layer, which is some laminate wood, which is some sort of framing. The second layer and the third layer are more interesting. I think you can just about see in there, yep. We've got some steel rods, quite heavy, electronics, motors and things. That should give it away. A spool of plastic. Right, well, it's a 3D printer, so once I've got this built, I'll be a little display board. I'll be able to print plastic, something I've not done anything of before. There we go. Heated bed for other things. Something I've not done before, but something that has interested me for a while, and now the prices have come down and the quality's gone up to a level where I decided to treat myself for Christmas. So I'll have a rummage through and see cabling stuff. A box of springs and screws. I knew it was a DIY kit, but I didn't know quite how DIY it was going to be. So apparently in here somewhere is a USB stick that's got the instructions on it. There it is, there we go. One USB stick of instructions. That's obviously the new way of doing things. So I'll get that loaded up and show you a few bits of the build in progress, but obviously it's quite big, I'm not going to be able to video everything. But yeah, I'll show you what's what in a few minutes. Right, this is going to be very tricky to video, so I'm actually not going to be videoing very much of this build. Mainly because the pictures are all on the USB stick, so I've got them on the laptop, and they're nicely exploded, but things don't quite line up, so I'm pretty much guessing that this is actually going through that hole. There's no indication that it is, but it seems to look right like that. And yeah, the other problem I did have, if I can go back up to the first page here, there's a couple of bits. For instance, the first thing says get the motor, which nothing's labelled, but I've got a motor, and it says to put the GT216 pulley. Now, the only thing, there's two of these that are pulleys of a type, but they don't look like the picture, so I'm going to skim through backwards and forwards throughout the instructions to try and figure out if I'm using the right bit and putting it in the right place and everything else. So it's not going to make much of a video, so pretty much I'm going to be trying to take some pictures along the way, and I'll put them into a sort of slideshow in a bit, and hopefully that'll give you an indication of what I've been going through without me actually trying to film it all and it being horrible and handy shaky cam and everything. So yeah, I'll try and get a couple of bits of video in, but mostly it's going to be pictures, so see you in a bit. Okay, after reading through the instructions, I figured out that that is the pulley that they're talking about. Where is it? There it is. Which seems to have teeth on it, but there we go. So that's gone on there. That's the back plate. It doesn't tell you which way round to fit it, so I've put it so I can access the ribbon cable quite easily without it being on the top. I also skipped ahead and did part 22, which is the final part, which is the spool holder. I figured I'd do an easy bit, and then I've got less bits, less parts in the box to worry about which goes where. So technically I've finished, but I've still got lots to do. So yeah, all of the motors, these bits I did find, they're couplings, the other bit which actually goes on one of the other motors. So yeah, there you go. Again, I'll put some more pictures up of the next bit of the build, and it's getting there. Okay, there we have it, built. Wiring to do next, which is going to be fun because there's lots of wires coming off and going everywhere. They do give you lots of cable ties and wire wraps to sort out and put in. But yeah, I've put that all together. Some of it's the timing belt doesn't tell you how tight to do it, but I've done it as tight as it feels. Maybe could have gone a little bit tighter on it, but it is, say, moving without a problem on there. It's not in danger of slipping off the pivot on the end there. It seemed to skip out an entire section about how to put this side together. So basically I've done what looks like it's right in the picture after, and so I connected up the worm drive bits to the motors, so they're obviously going to be linked together to make that go up and down at the same time. That's when you turn that, it obviously turns that, which makes it go up and down. So I'm going to go away and look at the wiring, which has got an interesting wiring diagram. All in all, building it wasn't too bad. The problem, say, there's a couple of bits that didn't say. I mean, these are connected with a spring. It doesn't say how tight to do the spring up, so I've left it with some give, but I don't know if it's enough or not enough. It's also got a sensor or something on there that doesn't feel right. I don't know. I'm going to have a look through and see what's what, but all in all, it's gone together quite well. It is obviously a budget printer, so it's not going to be, you know, all bells and whistles. It's got a control panel at the top there, which has got 5 buttons that work. Obviously it's not powered yet, but yeah, I'm going to get the circuit board on the side. Obviously all there. I've got to connect everything up to that, which hopefully I won't have any wires left over. So I'll work on getting it wired up, and then we'll see about powering it on. Well, I've got it all built, wired up and running. I've actually been able to get some plastic out of it. I had to play around with the settings of the temperature of the bit to make it actually print something. But it seems to be okay. I've got it all levelled. I'm not sure. This is the first thing that I've actually set it to print that's actually looked like it worked. This corner's not quite right, but I think that's the outside of, I don't know, it's doing some sort of edge piece. What I'm actually printing is a foldable box, so it should print and be able to just be folded up into a cube. It's going to take another hour or so to print, apparently. It's printing in the edges. There's a little bit of stretching going on around there that I can see. I think I've got a lot to learn and a lot to play around with to try and get it to figure out right, but according to the display here, which it won't read, there you go. So running at 200 degrees and the nib and the bed is at 60 degrees. It's all the dimensions and positioning of the bit, and it's done 5% of the build and it's taken 7 minutes so far. So we're not actually saying how long it's going to take to do, but so the software did say it was going to take, I think, an hour and 40 minutes, but let's just see what it's doing now. It's filling in that side, which is the side that didn't look like it was going to work very well, so yeah, that doesn't look right. Obviously something not quite right there, but I'll leave it to finish and see what it ends up like, and I'll show you that in a sec. Well, after a lot of trial and error and mistakes and problems, it seems to be printing okay. The first layer seems to be the problem. If I don't get that down properly, it obviously all comes unstuck. I've had to play around with the settings a lot, and I don't really know what I'm playing around with, so hopefully this will come out alright, and when it's done I'll be able to show you the done thing. But obviously I'm not going to sit here and show you it, building it for an hour, so I'll show you what I've got in a moment. Well, that print did fail quite catastrophically. Something seemed to go wrong with the height adjustment, so it wasn't actually lifting the printer head high enough, and it got caught up and ended up ripping itself off of the base. So let's forget about that. I've started printing something else which seems to be going quite well. It's actually a thinner thing. It's an upgrade for the printer. It's actually the fan adapter that blows the air from, instead of from one direction, actually blows it all the way around. So it's captivating to watch. It's very strange. See it building itself up and shaping, and yeah, I can sit and watch for hours, which you pretty much have to do. It's been building for 3/4 of an hour already, and it's 71% of the way done. So I'll let that finish off. Hopefully it won't break before it finishes, and then when it's done I'll be able to show you the finished item. And then I'll see about fitting it, and then try again with. I'm going to build a couple of tool towers, like cubes, that are used for calibrating and setting up temperatures and things. So hopefully I'll be able to figure out what's going wrong and fix it, so stay tuned. Okay, there I have my upgraded fan. The ring is hollow and has holes at the bottom, which obviously don't come through this. I printed it on what's called a raft, which lets me make sure that I get the base printed before it all goes hideously wrong. The curling there is actually just where I took it off of the plate. So I need to get this cut off the raft, which might snap off but might not, so I'm going to gently try and do that and see what happens. I need both hands to do it, and I'm holding the camera in one hand, so I'm going to let this cool down properly and then have a go at doing it. But other than that, that should be just what I'm after. So yeah. Okay, I'm still having problems with this height, but I've done a couple of mods to the frame anyway. I've fitted some lights, just a couple of LED strips, which just light it up quite nicely for filming and for seeing what's going on. I have actually fitted the printed ring as well, and I figured I'd print something tall to see if I can figure out what that problem is with the height. So I'm printing the Eiffel Tower. It started quite well. A couple of the outside surrounds of the feet, again, didn't go down quite properly. I'm reading up on the internet about why that might be. Hopefully I'll come up with something, but once I've got the glass bed, I'm going to start again, basically. But yeah, this has been printing now for half an hour, and so far we've got 4 legs that are getting closer together. It's 30% of the way through, so in another hour that should be done. I'll drop back in when it gets closer, or if it fails hideously, I'll show you something else in a moment. Well, we're just coming up on the hour, and so far it hasn't broken. It is a sort of fairly rough print. I did go for a lower quality than previous tests that I've done, just for the speed and ease of use. I was more worried about it not printing and failing rather than looking nice. So assuming it does work, I might try it again on a sort of twice the quality setting to see. But yeah, it seems to be good. I hope I haven't jinxed it, but it's now saying it's 53% of the way through, so it's probably going to take another hour rather than half an hour. But obviously it's all getting closer to the centre now, so going for height rather than distance, so there's less travelling time. Yep, I'll keep you updated in about an hour. Well, 98% of the way through, and it seems to have got confused at the top. Let me just zoom in there for you. It just started spitting it out and sort of wrapping it around. I think it's meant to be a top platform, but I'm not sure what it's doing now. It's obviously not doing what it should be doing at the end, but apart from that, it seems to be fine. The height obviously has built up okay, so I'm not sure what the problem was I was having with that before, but that seems to be alright. Well, there you go, just completed. So yeah, I'm going to call this video a day, because I'm not going to document printing everything and sort it all out, but I'm sure there'll be another update video later of other things that I've done for it. But hope you've enjoyed watching this and seeing my new toy. No, not a toy, actual thing to make things with. Yeah, stay tuned for more stuff, and back to my normal builds in a moment. Thanks, bye.